What's up, everybody? Welcome into episode 7 of the brand new Bolt Fam podcast. It's your boy, Big Brother Josh, and I rocked my Keenan Allen Royal Blue jersey today, only to get on the podcast and see my brother decided to rock the same jersey. Oh, you got your Herbert. Never mind.
I ain't got
So,
Keenan. I got Herbert.
well, we didn't match perfectly, but man, we came in. I was like, what the heck? So that's what's up. What's up, bro? How you doing, dude? We got a perfect connection today, just like Herbert and Keenan. So what's up? How we doing?
Doing good, doing good. Yeah. Second episode of the day we're recording, but I'm feeling good, man. I'm excited. I don't have to, not out here tired, stumbling over words and everything. It's a good day. We're doing this.
Well, since Trevor broke kayfabe like a WWE superstar, yeah, we are recording our second episode of the day. We just finished up recording the tight ends and tight ends and running backs episode. Sorry, and we're about to hit the defense. We're transitioning from the free agent possibilities. We've been talking about all the offensive guys. We went through all the guys we would keep or let walk, and now we're talking defensive free agents. And we're starting today with a big position for us that has a lot of options, and it's a very interesting, probably the most interesting position for the Chargers and Joe Ortiz. Are we going to keep Odafe Oweh? Are we going to keep Khalil Mack? Are we going to extend Tuli Pelotu? Or are we going to bring in someone off of this list and let one of those guys walk? It's a lot of options. Trevor and I talked about in the keep episode that we want to keep our guys and not really go sign any of these guys, but we have to prepare as if one of these guys might walk because they're expensive. So we got to have all these options available, and we're going to talk about what options we have if Khalil Mack or Odafe Oweh were to walk away.
Yep. Yeah, like you said, we obviously want to keep them. So they are both on this list. We're going to kind of skip over them because we already talked about them in the Keeper Cut episode for our defense. So feel free to go watch that. Go if you want to see specifically on Owe and Mac, go watch that episode. Come back to this, whatever you got to do. But yeah, so we're both in on them. We like those two mixed with Thule. We don't really think we need much help on this defensive end line, on the defensive edge rushers, all of that. But like you said, we gotta look over everything, see all the options, see if maybe one of these dudes stands out to where we might change our mind as far as like, okay, maybe we don't need to spend the money on one of them and we can get a cheaper option that's more long term. Who knows? That's what we're here to look over. That's what we're here to talk about. So let's get it kicked off, get it started with first up on this list, Trey Hendrickson.
Really quick, before I hit on Trey, I did want to let you know I saw something today. I don't know if it's true or not, and I'm risking it here by saying this, but because I might be getting clickbaited. But they said that the Chargers have 2 extensions that are almost a guarantee going to happen this offseason, and they're supposedly signing Quentin Johnson for 4 years and $72 million, averaging about $18 million a year, which is very cool to me. I told you in one of the episodes, I think Quentin Johnson could be like Jalen Waddle by the end of the time with McDaniels. So that's an interesting one. So some money could get eaten up there. And Tuli Pelotu is scheduled to sign for 4 years, $100 million, averaging about $25 million a year. So those are expected to get done this offseason before the draft. Now, I say that to say this. Now, obviously, it's speculation, it's reporting, it's not official, but there's a good chance what Ortiz could do with those contracts is just because both those guys are under contract. Those could be extensions, and they could literally sign both of those guys and have no effect on our cap space for this year. Though they could finish out this year on their current contract and then have going forward be able to be extended from that point on and have an adjustment made there. So, with that being said, that's a possibility. Sorry, my 2-year-old just walked in the room. But so if I look distracted there, my kid walked in on me. But here's the deal. So there's maybe more money, maybe less money. We don't know. So that's just a big deal. But Thule is expected to sign for $25 million a year, which is a big number. But if it doesn't kick in until next year, it actually affects us nothing for this year. So we could sign one of these guys and have Thule and Odafe Oweh and maybe Khalil Mack. So we'll see. So with that being said, Trey Hendrickson, I'm all the way out on though because I think he's a great player. I mean, 17 sacks 2 years ago, a productive year this year. Really good player, Trey Hendrickson. But he's 31 years old. He's commanding $26 million a year on the open market. Come here, pal. Hey, come join the pod. Sorry, dude. I should have locked the door. But EJ's going to join me on the podcast talking about Trey Hendrickson today.
What up,
So,
E?
hey, you say hi to Uncle Trevor? Oh, yeah, I would run from that ugly face too. Oh, so with that being said, Trey
Little
Hendrickson,
Kurt.
sorry, guys. Hey, we call it the Bolt Fam Podcast. So you know what? Family's a part of it, and you know, and I'm glad that he took my hat and ran out. So Trey Hendrickson, though, I'm out on. Too expensive. Trevor, give me what you got. I'm gonna go lock the door so that we can be uninterrupted the rest of the way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm same boat. Like, I think he's a great player. He was like 13th ranked edge rusher this year. So stats there. I mean, on the field's there. Everything's there as far as like credibility. Him being a great player. No one's doubting that. It's just a matter of you got to get to a point of is someone worth spending the money on. We already got, like we said, we're already trying to keep Khalil Mack. We don't need him and Khalil Mack again. Like if Khalil walks, signing him, okay, yeah, like they're about even as far as like they're pretty close to even as far as money. I remember, right? Khalil's pretty
Yeah.
close to that 25, 26
Oh,
million
yeah.
mark.
No. Khalil's projected for 18, and this guy's
Oh, okay.
projected 25.5. So it's a $7.5 million difference.
Right. So yeah, he's a little bit bigger. But I mean, I don't. Yeah. Like obviously, I would like him on the team, but at some point, you got to go money over talent and like figure out you can only so much talent. That's why there's the cap space and everything, so that one team can't just stack up like that. So yeah, I'm pretty well out on him just for that reason. Like you don't need two veterans either. I don't think you don't need two 31-year-olds running around destroying people. Clue's
All
not that
right, move
old, but
on to the next one.
all right. Jalen Phillips.
All right, Jalen Phillips is the one guy on this list that I would be willing to let Khalil Mack walk for because of this. I It's an interesting proposition, man. Given what I just said about Thule signing for 25 million over a 4-year contract, Adafe is probably going to sign for 80 million over a 4-year contract, and Jalen Phillips is projected for 17.3 over a 4-year contract. That would be the craziest edge room in the league, bro. Jalen Phillips, when he got traded to Philly last year, he got traded from Miami to Philly halfway through the year and dominated for Philly's defense. It would be awesome to see, but man, can I justify spending $65 million a season for the next 4 years on 3 dudes who are all under 30? So, I mean, Jalen Phillips is only 27. So, do you let Mac walk and go make a crazy splash move? It's an interesting thought exercise. I wouldn't do it. I would say let's re-sign Adafe Owe, re-sign Thule, and then for the next couple of years, you're going to be rotating that third edge rusher as like just another guy. But man, it's an interesting thought, and it's kind of cool to think about. But you got to understand, if you do that, you're going to be missing out on some guys on the O line, or you're going to be missing on a top level corner. So you're going to spend $65-70 million on 3 players at the same position. Probably not something I would do. But the fan in me is like, whoo, that's an interesting proposition. So,
Man, there's the other take of it too, though. Like you get that much pressure on a quarterback, you don't need a
yeah,
top end corner. Like one
right.
of us could go out there and pick one of those balls if they're just throwing it under that hard of pressure. Like, come on, man. Like if you just don't give him anywhere to breathe, that's what happened to Herbert all year. You don't let him breathe, and all of a sudden,
Mhm.
a top-notch quarterback can't perform. And then you get to contain on it too. So then, when you're facing someone like Lamar, keeping them inside the pocket, not letting them run out. I mean, Phillips had 73 total pressures this year, dude. That's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I I like Mac, man. Don't get me wrong. I was the one who tried to convince you to keep him,
Hmm.
but like,
It,
if you just don't let a
dude,
quarterback breathe, dude, like you don't like, dude, you give that to someone like Derwin James, you let him just all of a sudden he doesn't even have to blitz anymore. all of a sudden you let Derwin James just go free in the backfield and let him do whatever he wants, and he's just coming out with like 10 picks on a season. Maybe not. I get that's a little bit high, but you get the point. Like you give that to like, and then you get like Cam Hart on top of that. We still have good corners and everything. So yeah, we might be
Mhm.
missing out on like a top notch corner or something like that. But I'm not opposed to it at all.
Here's the thing, man. You think about every crazy, legendary, elite defense. Every one of them was able to get home without blitzing. Even the Seahawks this year, they got home rushing 4. And this is the thing: if you were to have these 3 guys rotating in some kind of way, you're going to have Tierra Tart's already locked up, who's a nice guy in the middle.
Uh-huh.
There's a lot of people talking about them drafting a guy in the first round as a defensive tackle, someone like a Caden McDonald or something. Like you add in guys like this, Parker or the guy kid from Clemson. Gosh darn it, his name escapes me right now. But there's just guys that in this draft you could really be like, hey, here's some young beasts to push the pocket up the middle. Here's these 3 just monsters on the outside, and we never blitz. And we're just, oh yeah, and by the way, in the slot is a guy named Derwin James who at any moment could blitz or could be the best cover corner in the league. It's a wild thought, and it could be a legendary, really good defense that reminds you of the Legion of Boom or the Seattle defense from this year or the 2000s Ravens. I know I'm going extreme with that. I know those are like the most elite defenses in league history, but I'm just saying it's a thought. I wouldn't do it. I'm clarifying. I wouldn't do it. But it's one of those things you're like, "Ooh, man, what's that meme where the guy's like walking with his girl and he's like peeking back over the shoulder? That's how I feel with this. I'm like, this is what I think we should do is just keep walking them. But man, that looks good. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So
I'm not gonna go as far as to say I don't think we should do it. Like I don't know, man. A a part of me wants to do it. Like
it gets the blood pumping a little bit. It makes you feel some type of way that you shouldn't feel. I'll say that.
it gets you
Let us know what
excited, man.
yeah.
It gets you
Let us know
very excited.
man.
Oh man.
Yeah, sometimes I got a little too hot and heavy. We should not be doing this.
That's it. Episode over. Go get Jalen Phillips. Get rid of Mac. We're done.
Oh man. Well, let's talk about some other more budget-friendly options. It's not our money, so it's easy to spend it. So let's talk about some more budget-friendly options. Who's next on our list, man?
Boy Mafe.
I don't care. Get him out of here. Jalen Phillips has me too excited. I don't even want to talk about this option. Uh, no, Boy Maffe's fine. Not someone I'm like, super excited about. But again, I mean, similar to what we just talked about with Jalen Phillips, a little more budget friendly option. Played for Seattle, 27 years old, projected $12 million. Would be a nice edge rusher to add as a third guy. I think there's better budget options, and Jalen Phillips is the big sexy option for me. So I wouldn't go this route, but I wouldn't hate it. But I'm kind of out on this one.
Yeah, me too. That's a yeah. I got all sad after talking about Phillips, so I'm just gonna move on. Quiddy Pay.
Quiddy Pay is interesting for this reason. If Khalil Mack does walk, Quiddy Pay is not a great pressure guy. He is elite as setting the edge and one of the best edge run stoppers, which I know everyone thinks edge rusher needs to be a pass rush guy. He's not that. He is great against the run. So first and second down, having a guy like this, here's where it's interesting. Adafe Owe is fine against the run, but he's more of a DPR, designated pass rusher. This guy could be your first and second down, stop the run, and earn the right to go to let someone else rush the passer. So he would kind of have to have a specialized role. He'd be very clearly our edge rusher 3. He would not be one of our one. He's not better than Thule. He's not better than Adafe Owe. Frankly, I don't think he's better than Khalil Mack. But if Khalil Mack walks, he's a cheaper option. And Quiddy Pay, well, actually, I take that back. You know what? As I'm looking right now, he's projected for 17 million. So you know what? For that, I'd rather just bring back our guy who we know works in our system. So you know what? I talked myself out of it right live on air. I talked myself out of it. But if Khalil walks for the same money, he's younger, he's 27, could be an interesting option. So don't hate it for real, but I would just re-sign Khalil Mack for that money on a 1 year
Yeah, I
deal.
was out on him. I was out on him before you were talking, so thanks for confirming my case. Yeah, I don't see any reason to go get him. There's other options. There's better guys if we're gonna spend money on the edge rushing. He's not where we're spending it. So,
He's just a really good run
um,
stopper, man. He's got a specific skill that I think he's really really good at stopping the run. That's all. So
Draymond Jones.
Draymond Jones is interesting. I wish I had a stronger take one way or the other. I'm kind of riding the fence with Draymond Jones, man. Um, Again, the only way we're signing any of these guys is really if Khalil Mack retired or sign, if Khalil Mack decided to follow Jesse Minter to Baltimore or something like that. He projected $10 million could be a nice little pickup. But Baltimore has their own edge rusher issues right now, and I don't think they're going to try to go after Khalil Mack. I think they're just going to re-sign their guy Draymond Jones. So it's funny. It's like everyone calls us Baltimore West, which is kind of what we've been. It would be really if we pick this guy out, it would be almost guaranteed Khalil Mack goes out there and he comes to us. So it's kind of 6 of one, half dozen the other. But I'd rather keep Khalil. I have a 51-49 grade on keeping Khalil over Draymond Jones.
I mean, I like him. Like he was 25th out of 115 edge rushers on pressures this year at 51 total, so not as high as Jalen Phillips, but man, 51 still's getting the job done. He's still putting the
Yeah.
pressure on the QB, and I think there's a lot to be said for someone who can put pressure on a QB, like almost more than someone who can stop the run. Um, I mean, run a lot of times it shouldn't, but a lot of times it falls on the interior linemen and it falls on the linebackers just naturally, just how it goes. It's really easy to if you get a good edge rusher, it's really easy to just run away from them. Like you just you just run a jet sweep to the outside, and that they don't even block that edge rusher all of a sudden. A lot of time the run stopping falls on the interior lineman, and so I put a lot of value on the pressures that a edge rusher can give. And so 51 total pressures over the season. I like him. Again though, it is like you said, it's if Khalil leaves, then we're gonna sign him. So I agree with you on that. Like it's gonna be like we just almost trade with them. um, without actually trading, it's basically just a one for one trade. But I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't dislike him at all. Next one, Malcolm Kuntz.
Malcolm Kuntz, I want no part of because he played for the Raiders and the Raiders suck and their defense was abysmal, dude. It's really hard for me to sit here and get behind a guy who was with the Raiders last year. Watching them play was like I watched your high school defense have more more athletic players than them.
Yeah,
So
that's because I played defense. Thank you very much.
okay, well, but yeah, man, I'm out of Malcolm Kuntz. I mean, good God, he's basically the same money as Draymond Jones. He's basically the same money as a little bit less money than a Joey Bosa. He's the same money as Joseph Asai. Like there's just guys who are better. And frankly, if we're gonna go this route, dude, there's edge rushers in the draft that I would go get. Like I'm good on Malcolm Kuntz at all. There's no interest, 0%, negative 100% actually on it. So
Yeah, I put one note down on him for what I have on here, and it's just 35 pressures. How you getting like I've already said I put value on pressures. 35 pressures is not a lot. He's very low on the rankings. He's just played for the Raiders. We hate the Raiders. So no, I'm with you. I don't want him. All right. We talked about two different Chargers that we wanted to possibly one of us wanted to bring back. I don't want to bring back the other one. On the last episode though, um, with the running backs, got another option here. Are we wanting to bring back Joey Bosa?
I am open to the conversation of bringing back Joey Bosa. First of all, Joey Bosa, one of my favorite Chargers of all time. So that's just I'm a fan. And I'll be honest, guys. on this podcast, I try to give y'all analysis and I try to be the one to bring all the stats and all the stuff to you. On this one, I'm just gonna tell you, I like the guy. And I've been a fan for years. And so there's analysis is like, hey, he was still really good for Buffalo last year. Obviously, we know his injury history is kind of a dumpster fire at times. But if you're bringing him in, you're bringing him in because Khalil Mack decided to retire, which is a very real possibility. And if Khalil Mack retires, you're not paying him $18 million. Well, now Bosa for $13 million is an interesting conversation. He's the issue for me is this: Khalil Mack is elite as a run stopping edge rusher. Joey Bosa is a really good DPR designated pass rusher guy that is fine against the run. At this point in his career, he's not the same run stopper. And so you're losing a lot in the running game. And I know you said you value the pass rush grades. Um, but I value the pass rush grades because Khalil Mack is so good and Tuli Pelotu is so good at stopping the run that I think we have more of a need for pass rushers. If we lose one of those guys and bring in a pass rush guy, now you lose a lot that could be really detrimental to us. So that's where I would be very interested in Joey Bosa, but it's kind of there's a risk there for sure. I'm not going to be jumping for joy and like trying to push for this, but I wouldn't be upset about it. I wouldn't be upset about it. But if we're going to let Khalil Mack walk, let's go back to the big sexy move. I would go after Jalen Phillips. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I love Bosa. He got drafted right around the time I started watching football, started playing football. I think one of my first Chargers he was my first Chargers jersey besides Philip Rivers, so I have his rookie jersey and everything. Love Bosa. Um, yeah, I mean, I just don't know. Like, yes, the money wise, like he would be a good option, but I just feel like there's better options on this list. Like as much as I wouldn't hate bringing him back by any means. Don't get me wrong, but I just think that there's other options, especially this next one that I'm about to mention that I really like that is worth more money or costs more money. But this next one that after him, like I just think that there's better options besides Bosa. So I'm not gonna be upset if we go get him, but I think that there's better out there than him. I think that the injuries kind of weigh in, obviously. As to, I mean, that's part of why he's as low as he is. But
mhm.
yeah, um, that's all I got on him. Yeah, move on.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. This is an interesting name. I'm gonna do my best to pronounce it. Um, Al Qadim. Is that how you pronounce it? Yeah, Al
Yeah.
Qadim.
Yeah.
Al Qadim
Muhammad.
Muhammad. Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. I already said I'm just gonna go first because I already kind of talked about him. I said I
Yeah.
liked him on
Okay.
the next one. Yeah, dude, I like this one. I didn't look at his spot track, what he's projected at. You can tell me that when you start going. But I mean, projected, he's a 20th out of 115 edge rushers. He had 53 total pressures, 12 sacks. Like he's just causing havoc in the backfield, dude. And I already talked about it with Jalen Phillips. Like, yeah, he doesn't have as many pressures as Phillips, but I love someone like that who can get to the quarterback, get them on the ground, and let our DBs breathe, man. Like not making them just be like doing everything. Not saying that they are doing everything, but like that's the job of a defensive lineman is to make up for when your DBs are struggling a little bit, or also like we talked about earlier, be able to send just 3 or 4 dudes on the rush, get pressure on the quarterback, and then you got double coverages you got a quarterback on the run trying to throw into double coverages, and it's just a nightmare for an offense. So you give me someone like him who can get in there, get on the quarterback. I'm gonna take him over Bosa any day. So I don't know the money. You tell me the money.
Or the money, dude. The money is the most interesting part of it. So it's funny that you like the player unknowingly of the money, because he's only projected for $7.8 million. So,
Go
um,
sign the dude. I don't care if we keep Khalil or like keep all of them and then sign him on top, dude. Oh my
so
lord.
all right. So you like the upside. So I'll play devil's advocate here. I'll give you the downside. Not because I don't like the guy, but just to give a little bit of context to your love affair here. Um, he's 31 years old. He's been in the league for 8 years now. And so he's a little bit long in the tooth, a little bit of an older guy. Again, we're talking about replacing Khalil Mack, who's 34, so even older, been in the league even longer. Here's the thing, man. He is good player, not great against the run from everything I'm understanding here. I like the guy as well. I'm with you on that. The only way I wouldn't bring him in if what you said there about keep Khalil Mack, keep Thule, keep Odafe Oweh, and go sign him. I'm like, yeah, that feels like a lot of money to me. And like we only get, I mean, I say only, we only have $300 million to spend on the cap. All right. So um, it's a lot to spend on one position, but he's good. If he was younger, I would see like, hey, maybe there's a future of like keep him, and then he's going to be the replacement to Khalil Mack. I don't think we need all that. The only I will say this: if Khalil Mack retires, this is something I would very strongly be like, hey, this is a really good decision. And if you're planning on paying Khalil Mack $18 million, and then you're going to go sign this guy for 8, well, you just saved $10 million and got a player who isn't as good but is comparable. I would say he's a comparable player, and so he's at this point in his career. He's only really had like one real breakout season, and he had a really good year this year. Like you listed his stats. Keep in mind, he was opposite of Aiden Hutchinson, who's one of the most elite pass rushers in the game. So was it just because he's not getting the attention? But also, you take that Sam. This is where I'm just kind of giving context here. The same side of that, or the other side of the same coin is he comes to the Chargers. There's Oweh,
There it
there's
is.
Thule. He's not getting, yeah, yeah.
I was like,
So
get there, come on.
no, we got that connection today, dude. I told you that Herbert Keenan connection. We're here. Um,
30 Keenan.
so yeah, hey, third and Keenan, baby. I'm always here. So anyways, point being, I would sign him as well. I agree. I just wanted to give the negative, so it's not just a love fest here. But if Khalil retires, I would sign him as well. And then you can take that $10 million and use it elsewhere. I think it's a really good budget option, and probably is a more responsible option than going to get Jalen Phillips. Let me give this analogy. Us going to get Jalen Phillips would be like us living in an apartment complex and buying a Ferrari. But going and getting Al-Qadim Muhammad is like buying a house, which is a better investment long term, probably, but not nearly as big and sexy and doesn't make you flashy to all the ladies. But I'll tell you what. So this is a responsible good move, and I recommend responsible good moves. And it's more what I think Joe Ortiz would do. You and I are not GMs because we would go buy the Ferrari and then go back to our 1-bedroom apartment. So that's the
I got a
analogy.
2-bedroom, thank you very much.
Oh, same. But you don't have a Ferrari, so
True. Yeah,
hey, real
that's it.
quick,
That's the whole list. I think this is our shortest episode yet.
it is, but I do want to bounce one other thing off you, and I know I didn't prepare you for this, so I'm throwing this at you on the fly here. So I apologize. There's a couple options that I'm looking through Spot Track really quick, and they're interesting as well. So Joseph Asai, I know you haven't pulled up all the stats, you haven't done any research, so I'm sorry for doing this to you. Joseph Asai is 25 years old and is projected to make $9 million. So really young guy. He was an edge rusher for Cincinnati. He's kind of been this guy. He's been with Cincinnati, just kind of like got nothing special. But he's only 25 and could develop, and he's got a lot of talent. I believe I'm doing this off the top of my head. I think he was a 3rd-round pick a couple years ago. His most famous thing, and this is where they're going to let him walk. He's most well known for 3 years ago in the AFC Championship game. He's the guy who pushed Patrick Mahomes late out of bounds and cost him 15 yards. It ended up costing him the game and a chance to go to the Super Bowl back-to-back years there. So he has had some bad moments, but he's still a pretty productive player. So he's an interesting one. And then Clavon Chason, who almost murdered Justin Herbert in a playoff game this year, playing for the New England Patriots, is only 26 years old and is only projected to make $8.9 million. So both of those guys are basically about $9 million each, and they're a lot younger. So could be other options. Do you have any take that I just threw at you on the fly there? And I apologize for doing you dirty on that one. But do you have anything? Do either of those interest you more than a Al-Qadim Muhammad or something like that? Just because they're
Probably not.
younger?
probably not more, but also going on that point about like pushing Mahomes out of bounds late 3 years ago. I mean, you said he was what, 24?
He's 26 now. So 3 years ago, he's 23 years old,
Yeah,
rookie in the
fresh
league,
into
and he
yeah,
made a
like
mistake.
fresh into the league, endorphins I'm sure got to him. He's out there like pumped late in the game, trying to make a big play. Mahomes is also known for flopping. I don't I don't fully remember the play off the top of my head. I think I know which one you're talking about. Um,
Dude, he was 3 steps out of bounds, and then he shoved it. It was a bad play.
okay. I mean, then yeah, like dude made a lapse of there, a lapse of judgment. Sorry. Um,
Yeah,
but I mean, like 3 years ago, fresh into the league in a big championship game like that, I'm not gonna hold that against him by any means. 9 million. I mean, I like the price on it. So I like the price on both of them. You said 9 and then like 8, something like that.
it,
Um,
9.1 and 18.9. So I just said they're both 9 million. Yeah,
yeah. So I mean, I like the price points on them. Um, I struggle because I like the established guys. I like the dudes that like have done stuff. Like I mean, Bengals man, like their
it's
defense is
bad.
what's killing Joe Burrow. Like
Yeah. Well, the offensive line
like
now
he's
for
out here.
Cincinnati.
I mean, no, I mean his offensive line too, but like he's out here putting up like 5 touchdowns a game or whatever, and his defense
Yeah,
can't help him win. Like, so I mean, like I don't love that going for him. Like yeah, he's from a good team, but he's from a good team with that's only good because of their offense. They're known for having an absolutely awful defense, and so if he's one of the edge rushers on that, I don't love the look of that. So
yeah. Well, the bottom line, dude, is they drafted Shamar Stewart, and they're gonna replace him. Um, I think a change of scenery could be good for him. I think having a better coaching staff could be good for him. Um, he's been a lot less productive since Lou Anarumo left the Chiefs, or not the Chiefs, sorry, the Bengals. Um, when Anarumo went to the Colts, he's kind of been a lot less productive. So I think that as a young guy in a good system who had good coaching, he was really good. He had some really productive moments. He was, like I said, third round pick, if I remember right. The one that's okay, so you know me. I like traits, I like pedigree. So Clavon Chason, he's a former first round pick who went to Jacksonville, has all the traits of just an elite pass rusher. Went to Jacksonville. That was a dumpster fire of an organization. I believe he was drafted by Urban Meyer that year, if I remember right, or maybe the year prior. But so that was a dumpster fire of an organization. He kind of was just kind of a guy. He got to New England this year and he really popped. And so now he's going to make more money. Um, but like this year for New England signed him, former first round pick who was 25 years old. New England signed him last year for $3 million because of the year he had. He's projected to make 9 million. So that to me tells me that he's a guy that I'm more interested in than Joseph Asai based on
yeah,
initial pedigree, the traits, all that stuff. The problem is New England's pretty like they got a lot of cap space too. They're likely going to re-sign him, so I don't think he's going to be available. Joseph Asai to me is a good cheap flyer. Like, hey, let's see if we can develop this guy in a way that no one else could. I do like him, but that was just kind of an interesting. As I was looking through this, I was like, man, these are options that we didn't write down on our list. So let us know in the comments, man. Is there anybody you think that we missed? Any other options? I see some guys on here that we didn't talk about that are interesting. I mean, Cam Jordan, 36 years old, maybe available. Arden Key, AJ Esponza, Von Miller is maybe going to be available. Again, 37 years old. I don't know that I want that, but y'all let us know in the comments. Who do y'all want to see if Khalil Mack retires, or are you just like, hey, pay the man what he's worth. Don't let Khalil Mack walk out the door. Let us know in the comments. With that being said, that concludes episode 7. We're rolling. We're gonna keep putting out content, and we are getting into next week. We got the linebackers, and then we're hitting some draft stuff, and we're gonna hit the draft hard. The combine is this week, baby. One of my favorite days of the NFL calendar, the NFL Draft Combine. I am ecstatic. I'm so looking forward to it. I can't wait to give y'all some of my draft takes, and we're going to really go through the offseason and have some fun here. So make sure you're subscribed to the best Chargers content on the internet. Make sure you hit the like, share, subscribe. Comment, let us know what you think about our opinions. We're interested in all of them. We may not respond to every comment, but we will respond to a few. So let us know if we're tripping. Let us know if you agree, and we'll look forward to seeing you for episode number 8.